No matter how far someone runs from their past, sometimes it doesn't just follow, it drags them back. And for Meghan Markle, that's exactly what's happening. Success, fame, titles, Hollywood glamour, it doesn't matter. Right now, none of it is shielding her from a storm that's not only personal but painfully public. And the worst part? The person at the center of it isn't some faceless critic or a ruthless tabloid reporter, it's her own father, Thomas Markle. Think about that for a second. The man who once held her hand as she grew up, who watched her find her way in Hollywood, who saw her marry into royalty, is now standing on the opposite side of a courtroom, ready to testify against her, not quietly, not reluctantly, but reportedly prepared to speak under oath and tear down the image Meghan has spent years carefully building. This isn't some awkward family feud whispered about at holiday dinners. This is court judges, lawyers, transcripts, headlines, and millions of people watching. A betrayal turned spectacle. At the center of it all is Samantha Markle's defamation lawsuit. That case was already messy, already full of tension. But when Thomas decided to get involved, it went from complicated to catastrophic. This isn't just half-sisters at war anymore, this is a father choosing sides. And not Meghan's. Imagine trying to sell yourself as a global lifestyle figure, the voice of independence and resilience, while your own dad prepares to sit in court and back up the version of your life that you've always rejected. Private childhood stories, family dynamics, holiday memories, details Meghan has worked so hard to keep away from the spotlight are suddenly potential courtroom evidence. And once they're spoken under oath, they aren't gossip anymore. They're permanent. For Meghan, it's a nightmare on two fronts, legally and emotionally. Legally, Thomas's testimony could give Samantha's team exactly what they need. Remember Meghan's infamous Oprah line, "I grew up as an only child." Those words, just 7 of them, are the backbone of this case. Samantha claims it wasn't true, that Meghan deliberately erased her existence in public narratives, making her out to be irrelevant or even dangerous. If Thomas supports Samantha's claims, if he tells the court that Meghan and her half-sister did share moments, that they weren't strangers, then Meghan's defense starts to crack wide open. And emotionally, it's brutal. This is the same woman who walked down the aisle without her father at her side, who has spoken openly about the pain of that absence. Now she's staring down the possibility of facing him across a courtroom, not as a parent, but as a witness for the opposition. And the timing couldn't be worse. Meghan has been working to rebrand her post-royal life, the California image, the wellness ventures, the Netflix projects, all designed to show her as strong, serene, in control. But how do you sell calm when your family is preparing to ignite a courtroom drama? Every headline about sage smudging and lifestyle launches is drowned out by louder headlines about lawsuits, betrayals, and and the truth is, investors notice. Streaming platforms notice. Brands notice. Who wants to tie their money and reputation to someone who might be dragged through a legal circus for months or even years? This case was supposed to be over, dismissed, done. But like a horror sequel, it came back. The appellate court reopened the door, and now Samantha's lawyer, Peter Tickton, is pushing hard. He isn't just accusing Meghan of lying, he's framing it as a calculated campaign to destroy Samantha's reputation. He's tying together Oprah interviews, public appearances, social media comments, building a narrative that Meghan didn't just misspeak, and if the court buys into that framing, if they believe this was more than personal reflection but an intentional smear, then Meghan isn't just facing an angry half-sister, she's facing a defamation case with real legal weight. That's where Thomas Markle becomes the biggest threat. He's not a random critic. He's not a stranger with opinions. He's the father. His voice carries weight. Judges and juries listen when parents speak about their children. And if he says Meghan's narrative doesn't line up with reality, it could devastate her defense. Even if his words are biased, even if they come from a place of resentment, in the courtroom, they'll sound like testimony from someone who knows her best. That's dangerous. Meanwhile, Meghan is juggling everything else: business ventures, 2 young children, non-stop media scrutiny, and every time her name trends online, it's a gamble. Is it about a project, or is it about this lawsuit? She's trying to sell optimism, but the headlines scream betrayal. And Hollywood doesn't wait around. Industry insiders are already whispering. Projects once in development are stalling. Partnerships are being reconsidered. The shine around Meghan Markle as a brand is starting to dull, not because of her talent or drive, but because her name is being pulled into too much chaos. The emotional toll is just as heavy. Meghan hasn't spoken publicly about the case, but insiders say she feels the betrayal deeply. After all, the public drama with Thomas in the past, the staged paparazzi photos, the sold stories, there was always a tiny hope that maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't cross this final line. But now he has. And not only crossed it, he seems ready to do it with energy. He's reportedly eager to take the stand, eager to share his version of events, even if it shatters her in the process. For Meghan, that's more painful than any lawsuit, because lawsuits end. But a father testifying against his daughter, that leaves scars that last forever. Her team is in crisis mode. Damage control is no longer a side job, it's the main job. They're drafting statements, shifting timelines, rewriting press releases, trying to keep focus on projects instead of problems. But every time Thomas or Samantha speaks publicly, it resets everything. Meghan's entire narrative is being rewritten in real time, not by her, but by the very people she once called family. And no PR strategy can silence that. This is why many insiders believe this moment could define Meghan's entire post-royal career. Not the Netflix deals, not the podcast, not the glossy lifestyle brand. This, the courtroom battle that pits family against family, father against daughter. Even if Meghan wins in the legal sense, the cost to her public image could be permanent. Because at the end of the day, it isn't just about what the court decides, it's about what the world sees. And what they're seeing right now is a woman being betrayed in the most brutal way possible. With no palace to protect her and no script to control the story.